Um, it was okay, but it was the first time I had ever seen a, what do you call it, African American, black woman of color, whatever term you want. Irene Graves. She was my first teacher of color at McGraw, and usually it was a good experience. I mean, I thought I learned a lot. And the only time I used to get in trouble was talking too much in the class, but other than that, I thought it was a good experience for me. It was nice, but I was there to learn, and so she was teaching as well as anybody else. So it wasn't a big thing. Because at that point, I was so young, I didn't realize that we didn't have a lot of teachers of color. I didn't realize it. So I just enjoyed her. She was tremendous and just a wonderful teacher. I'm so thorough, and her diction was so perfect. And she was just very thorough. Yeah. We were talking, my dad and I, we were talking about, where I was going to go to high school. And since Isla and Dolores had both gone to Northwestern and they took the college prep course, and then they came out and they went to Wayne, I think, for about a year. And then after that they got married, but they really didn't have a skill. Of course, at that time, all the schools were advertising. And so we heard of Commerce. And that's when Daddy and I were talking. I was saying, gee whiz, I didn't want to go to Northwestern. Following my sister's footsteps. They were, I think, both captains of the basketball team. And you just don't want to follow your sisters. Too much comparisons, At least I believe that. So I decided if I went to Commerce and I took the business course, then when it came out, I would be qualified to be a secretary, a typist, and I could qualify for a job. And so that's sort of why I decided to go to Commerce instead of going to Northwestern. Well, the first year, it was interesting, learning shorthand and the typing and bookkeeping, and we even had a biology course and everything. So it was really interesting. But now the start of the second semester, two ladies from Detroit Edison came to the school, and they were interviewing students because they wanted two students of color to integrate the Detroit Edison service building. And as it turned out, I was one of the two they chose. So for the next 2 years, I worked 4 hours a day, and I went to school 4 hours a day. And so I did that until I graduated. To have it was great coming out of college out of high school, to have a job waiting for me. It was really great. I didn't have to go looking or send out a bunch of resumes or anything. After the 2 years on the co-op program, walked right straight out into a full-time typist job at Detroit Edison. So that was really great. Yeah, I can remember Mother and Daddy, probably different times, taking us to the Rogers on Warren, I guess. It's been a long time, but yeah, they would take us to the movies. And when I was, like I said, I know I was young, the youngest. And then when I got a little older, teenager, then the neighborhood kids and we would walk to the Granada. And so those were the two movie, theaters that we frequent. That's where, as I said, we were in the choir, and we decided to have a dance, and that's where my first date was. We went to the Nakarima Club. And it was a choir and everything, and we had our semi-formal dance at the Nakarima Club. And I think other people I knew were married there, so I went there for weddings and a lot of, I guess, different activities that they had. We went to at the Nakarima Club. Yeah. No, Daddy was a sportsman, and he loved to play cards. And like he would take us down to the parade, the Santa parade, when Mother was home cooking dinner, Thanksgiving. He'd take us down into Hudson's, and we'd go along Toyland and all that. But Mother was home cooking, and so I remember when I was little, he took me to the Olympia, and there was a fight because Daddy liked all sports, and he took me there, and I can remember I was so young that I was holding on to his little finger, walking around, and of course, being a child, I had to go to the bathroom, so he walked over there and got a lady and asked her would she take me in. But I can just remember being, up near the top of the Olympia and looking down and seeing the boxing ring. But at that point, I really didn't know what was going on. But Daddy liked all sports. Yeah, because I remember we stayed, upstairs. It was a small house. And in the summer, sometimes it get very hot. And we would say, look, can we take the mattress down and put it in the middle of the living room floor? So, because it's too hot up here. So we would holler and holler, too hot upstairs. So sometimes they would let us bring a mattress or feather tick downstairs and put it in the middle of the living room floor, and we would sleep there that night because we did not have air conditioning. And we did have, fans, but when it got, real hot, it really didn't help that much. But we would have the front door open, just the screen locked, and the same with the back, just the screen door locked. That was it. And so I think we did feel a lot safer in those days.